The Florida Panthers have an opportunity to close things out and go back-to-back tonight as Game 6 is just hours away. Dennis Bernstein, David Pagnotta, our coverage of the 2025 Stanley Cup Final is brought to you by Carlsberg, probably the best beer in the world. All right, DB. No changes again for the Florida Panthers in this one, going into this potential clincher for them. Edmonton tweaking their roster. Again, Stuart Skinner back in net for the Edmonton Oilers. Out comes
Calvin Pickard.
Calvin Pickard, that's right. Stetcher out in for John Klingberg. And Kasperi Kapanen back in the lineup for the Edmonton Oilers. Corey Perry's back on the top line. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins didn't skate this morning, but he's slated to go according to Coach Knobloch.
Yeah. The changes that he didn't need to make in Game 5, he's going back to Game 6. I really think that Chris Knobloch outsmarted him, Dave, here. I really do. That would have been the lineup I would have played in Game 5. There was no energy. There was no fierceness. There wasn't anything. So hopefully he gets more from his depth, which he has to get tonight, and a little more aggressiveness even though you're on the road.
You know, Leon Draisaitl talked about this morning. So did Chris Knobloch, that this team hasn't brought their best.
Yep.
Is it coming?
Well, they haven't brought their best. The other team has something to do with it. The aggressiveness of the Florida Panthers forecheck, the inability, other than Conor McDavid, to have great zone exits, it's impacted this team as the finals gone on, Dave. It really has. So can they do it? Yeah. Look, they only need a great 60-minute effort to take this back to Edmonton. And I'll say this again. There's not much separating these teams. Would we be shocked if we go back to Edmonton? Well, I picked the Oilers in 7, so I wouldn't be shocked.
Well, I've got the Panthers in 6, and guess what? I'm picking them tonight. Obviously.
Are you going to brag about how you got every game right now, too? Are you going to do that?
I'll wait till after the game. We'll see what happens if I go for the clean sweep. We'll see. But back to the Oilers in terms of their net. Calvin Pickard out, Stuart Skinner back in. Quite frankly, I don't think it matters who's in net unless this team puts up a better performance, as we just mentioned, both defensively and offensively for this group.
Well, it matters, though, Dave. I know that we're applauding Brad Marchand, and he's been amazing in this final, but the 2 goals he scored in Edmonton are stoppable goals. So you can say that, you can say we need more offense, and we need to get a lead, and we need to play better in front of the goaltender. No, the goaltender has to play better, too. It's a group effort. It just can't say, oh, we score more goals and defend better and block more shots. Skinner's going to make those saves. No, Stu has to make some saves too.
We'll see if he can later tonight as things get going over at Amerant Bank Arena. We will head over there for tonight's matchup, and you can also catch us on the pregame show Face Off Live on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. Before we depart, some news and notes across the National Hockey League. Mitch Marner getting a lot of attention this week.
No, really? This week? Okay.
Okay, this month. We know he's going to free agency. He's starting to, iron out his plan for July 1 in terms of teams that are going to be interested in him. We've reported for a while that Vegas is one of the teams that he's interested in going to, along with the LA Kings. But Vegas has some cap juggling they're going to have to figure out if they want to make this work.
Yeah, Kelly McCrimmon's going to have a lot of moves on the chessboard to fit it. And, Dave, I don't know if you trade certain players that you look at the roster that are tradable, if this team would be better with Mitchell Marner. It's crazy to say, but the depth, you're probably going to have to take 1 or 2 players off there. So, yeah, of course, the great thing about Vegas, which I love, every offseason they want the big shiny toy, and they're going after it again.
We'll see if they can pull it off. We're still a couple weeks, away from July 1. Another team to look at, the Utah Mammoth. Yeah. We've reported for some time now that the 4th overall pick has been in play. They're looking specifically to get bigger in their top 6.
Yes.
And if they can swing something like that, they'd be willing to move that draft pick.
Yeah, and look, the speculation aside, Dave, we always talk about trades at the draft and high picks being traded, the 4th overall pick. Manage your expectations, Dave. You know what? It's like Sasquatch. I'll believe it when I see it.
We'll see if they pull that off. We know now Chicago also willing to entertain calls on the 3rd overall pick. San Jose seems to be locked in. Obviously, we know the Islanders aren't going to be moving that one. One team that is looking to move, that's looking to make improvements, the Montreal Canadiens. We've chatted about this for a little bit now. Not only are they expected to entertain the free agent market, but Kent Hughes and his staff, from what we're being told, is very active in the trade market, not just looking exclusively for a 2C.
Yeah, but he should get a 2C. He needs a 2C. But look, they're playing with house money now because what they achieved last season, making the playoffs, playing with house money, that was all bonus. So I guess you could say the rebuild is ahead of schedule. So go out and be aggressive. Go get that 2C. Get another score on the ring. Look at your defense as well. But, Kent Hughes is in a really good position because of the way they overachieved last season.
Well, overachieved or achieved? I mean,
No,
they took some.
I do not think they were a playoff team last year. And so they got there, and good for them.
We'll see if they can improve on that as we get closer to draft and free agency. Check back with us after the game tonight, Game 6 between Florida and Edmonton. Is it over? We'll find out. That's Dennis. I'm Dave. We'll catch you after the game.